All right. Yeah. We're okay. All right. So thank you everyone for being here. Is quite a pleasure, Gabriel. Thank you so much for inviting us. And I know it has been hard. A lot of hours, a lot of very interesting topics. I am here today with two schools from our network. We are with Colegio Santa Francisca Romana and María del Rosario Concha in Bogota. And we are also from the Vermont School and Adriana Torres here in Medellin. The idea of what we want to do today is have, first of all, a conversation with the heads of the school, Adriana and María del Rosario, so that we can have a little bit of a discussion of what we're thinking about the future of education should be. And then immediately after, talking to the girls and seeing if what they think is pretty much similar to what we're expecting. You know, maybe girls, you know, if you had the possibility of dreaming a school, what type of school would that be? I'm going to mix that with a couple of videos that we are truly proud of. And it's basically what we call the Programa Amparo, which is a program where we already have 120 students within our network of schools. We are 9 schools located in 7 cities with a little bit over 7,000 students. We are now part of the Cognita family of international schools. And we, you know, on top of being part of a network, whether, you know, many of the people that might be watching us like or not the idea of being a network, we have found great strength and growth. And so basically what we want to do here is tell you a little bit of a story, just a story of what is it that we're doing. And I'm going to start with one of our students. His name is Kevin Andres. He lives in Cartagena. He comes from a very underserved family or underserved community in Cartagena. I know that many of you probably know Cartagena because of its tourism, beaches, and restaurants, but not about its poverty and its inequalities. Let me show you the video, and then from there, we'll take it on. Just give me a second, and I'll start sharing. Share sound. Gabriel, if you can double check with me once you guys are able to see it, and especially to hear it.
Me presento, mi nombre es Lizzy Pérez, mamá de Kevin Andrés Vázquez Pérez, que es mi hijo, el afortunado de ganar una de las becas del Colegio Británico de Cartagena. Nuestra experiencia ha sido maravillosa, tanto como los profesores, los padres de familia, los compañeros de escuela de mi hijo. La experiencia ha sido súper maravillosa, ya que he aprendido otra metodología de educación que nos ha encantado, que a él le encanta, le apasiona el inglés. Conocí un deporte súper maravilloso en el colegio, que es el taekwondo, que lo ama. Se desvive por sus notas, por tener buenas notas, por estudiar cada día, por ir bien en su deporte. y no le gusta faltar para nada. Cuando se enferma, que son pocas las veces de pronto por un resfriado o una gripa, eso, mejor dicho, él le encanta ir a su colegio, no le gusta faltar, y estamos muy agradecidos por la oportunidad de la beca y por todas las oportunidades, porque se nos han abierto puertas y ha sido una gran bendición para nosotros esta beca.
Hola, mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Susan de la Hoz. Actualmente soy la docente encargada del curso de Kevin. Quiero pues resaltar que Kevin es un niño súper cariñoso, súper buen compañero, se integra muy bien con todos, tanto con sus docentes, con los demás compañeros de los diferentes cursos, no solamente de nuestro curso. Es un niño que está siempre dispuesto a ayudar, apoyar. Durante las clases resalta su entusiasmo y su interés por aprender. Le encanta el idioma inglés, también hace parte del grupo de taekwondo. Es un excelente deportista, como niño es un niño también íntegro en valores y pues ¿qué más puedo decir? Lo único que tengo que decir de Kevin es un niño excelente y de verdad que felicito a sus padres porque han hecho una gran labor con él. Todo lo que se hace en casa se ve resaltado aquí en el colegio y bueno, de verdad que estamos todos muy felices con el proceso de Kevin.
Cuando yo sea grande quiero ser biólogo marino para ayudarle a las especies, conocer nuevas especies y ayudarlas a que el ecosistema de las bolsas y esos yo las saco para que no le hagan daño. Lo que me gusta hacer en el británico es jugar baloncesto, hacer taekwondo, jugar con mis amigos, hacer todas las tareas. Que aprendo otros idiomas, comeremos comidas de otros países y la comida de otros países son muy ricas. Mi nombre es Kevin Vázquez, estoy en segundo A en el Colegio Británico de Cartagena y estoy muy feliz de estudiar aquí.
Okay, so give me 1 second. So as I said, Kevin is just one kid out of 120 that we have within our network that received this scholarship. But what it's interesting about this and our commitment as private educators, if you will, is what is it that we can do to change those huge quality gaps when we talk about education, at least within Colombia. Some important facts out of this is 76% of those students that are part of the program are girls. 51 of those come from the lowest income scale here in Colombia, what we would call strato 1. But what it's truly important is that 80% of those kids, such as Kevin that you just saw, have either equal or better results than their peers. It's not an issue about the capacity to, but rather having the opportunity. And at the end of this conversation, I'm going to show you a second video. I'll tell you that in a second, because we think that this goes way beyond just having the granting of scholarships. Reason why I invited Maria del Rosario and Adriana to have a little chat with them and of course with their students to learn directly from them what is it that we do in each of those schools that is unique, that is life-changing for the students that are there with us. So we have Adriana Torres, head of Vermont School in Medellin, beautiful part in Colombia, I would say, and Maria del Rosario Concha, which is the head of El Colegio Santa Francisca Romana in Bogotá. Quite interesting, being a girls-only school as well. So, Maria del Rosario, Adriana, thank you for being here, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting us to this special conversation. And I wish, or I hope we'll be able to share with you what we do and why we feel so proud of what we do.
And yeah, Adriana, go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to.
I was just going to say that it's very exciting for us to share what we do around here, because as you said, Oscar, we try to change the lives of people through education. And that's one of our mottos as school and as a network of schools is to create a better world through better schools. And involving students in their own learning process and understanding of the culture and understanding of the situation is one of the key areas that we focus on when we try to educate students at within Repol.
Indeed, that is true. Maria Rosario, let's start with you. And it's how is it that a girls-only school that has to cope with everything that is happening in the world today, gender gap, gender differentiation, religion, especially in your school, in this new era that we live in, especially here in Colombia, where we have such dramatic political changes. How do you feel that hits you in Santa Francisca Romana in Bogota?
Well, actually, I think that it's a great opportunity for us to have a only girl school or community because we educate an empowering community, not only to empower girls and to educate them on leadership skills, but also we have an empowering community that looks forward to encourage their interests, their needs, their motivations to have a transforming impact in society. Just as you said, Oscar, one of the main goals we have is to take action, to transform, to have an impact in society. So our students learn to do, learn to be, and learn to learn as main abilities that we look forward to encourage, because we know we have a very important responsibility in society in being the change we want to see. And that's one of the main issues our girls have in mind when they lead processes, thinking in a critical way, thinking out of the box, feeling they are creative, and especially they have the tools within them to, and the resources to act and have an impact in society. Even since they are 4-year-olds, they have their own projects. And our responsibility as a school is to promote those projects to become real in society and transform lives. And they start seeing that since they are very little, so they know they have the power to make the change, and they have the skills and the resources to do it. So that's the way, or that's why we say they are empowered, and they are really leaders who are very clear that they have a social responsibility and commitment. And we are very strong on that kind of programs that really show them they can make the change they want to be. So I don't know if in that sense is your question.
Yeah. And maybe we'll come back and ask you, maybe a little bit about one specific project that a group of girls are working on. But let's turn to Adriana for a second. And Adriana, Medellin in Colombia has usually been the runner-up for the most important city in the country. It has even been named the most innovative city in the world. And it's quite well known for their entrepreneurial sentiment. How does that all resonate within Vermont over there?
We have a very particular motto that says we believe in your ideas when we talk about students, and we promote individual thinking and we promote for them to think out of the box in everything that they do. We listen to them and we try to create opportunities, not only to give them the best education possible that would take them wherever their dreams wish, but also to provide them with all the tools to understand how, in being involved in a culture that is always moving and is always improving and it's always producing new things, can help them grow within themselves as people, but also to return to Antioquia and to make Antioquia even better every day. So our programs are based not only on what the academics demand, but also on what can bring that, what we can do together with that, for them to have opportunities to experience with people from around the neighborhood, with neighboring communities. We take them down to Antioquia and visit the places that can give them additional information and tools for life. But we also teach them to manage their emotions and be caring and be empathetic, so that they can make even Antioquia better. I think that summarizes everything.
I like that both of you are thinking or are implying that we teach them to think outside the box. What if, Maria Rosario, we turn our attention to your girls and ask them that? Give us an example of anything that you truly love from your school in terms of projects or things that you can do. And please, if you guys can tell us, your names and what grade are you in, so that the rest of the audience get to know you girls. Thank you for being here, by the way.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Maria Fernanda Romero.
And my name is Catalina Centenaro.
And we are both from 12th grade at Colegio Santa Francisca Romana in Bogota. So first of all, we wanted to thank you for inviting us to be here. And one different aspect we want to talk to you about things that we value in our school is the fact that here in the school, it provides us to do different activities. We can consider extracurricular. That way we can have a complete education in different aspects, and including in these extracurricular activities, there are different projects that help us to become better persons and to become the woman, and for them to go out in the world and to express what we are.
Additionally, there is a really big promote of critical thinking in the school, in every class almost. There is also specific classes that are focused on critical thinking. For example, there is the program Ingenious, where we have the opportunity to create different kind of projects and solutions to our daily life problems and think about them.
Also, we wanted to highlight the fact that here in school, we have a very complete education, not only in academic programs like math, science, or English, but also a complete education in terms of, for example, artistic and the sports part that help us to have a complete education for them to become better persons in all aspects.
Additionally, we consider that the school provides us a very complete point of view in terms of global situations. It gives us a really global vision of things and contexts and cultures, and this helps us develop in different kinds of contexts and understand different kinds of situations.
This point made is linked with this point I'm going to tell you is about the fact that the school provides us to learn different languages, not only Spanish, that is our native language, but also, for example, English and French. We consider it's a very complete way of having an education, because through different languages, we are able to know different cultures to different countries and helps us express in different ways.
And additionally, we want to point out that in the school, there is a really strong sense of service. We have a lot of opportunities and spaces for doing social service in every grade, since we are little, and we learn how our actions and how our what we think and what we know can be shared with others and may help and may made an impact in other communities.
Do you guys think that the school is boring? I mean, you have a lot of things to do, throughout your school day, we get that. But if you wake up after, I know that we just ended vacations, holidays that we had here in Colombia for schools last week. But, Tuesday morning, you have to be at school, 7 a.m. or so. do you wake up like truly wanting to go to the school because you have a project that you're in love with? I mean, of course, we love it to meet with friends and all, but those projects, those activities that not only give you a grade at the end, but truly to strengthen your skill set. Is it boring?
Well, I consider that most of us Pachas believe that the school has become like a second home to us. So when we come to school, we are able to do different things, not only academic. As you said, we have different projects that contribute us to developing different skills, including leadership, for example, the student council, or other abilities like more social service. There are different programs that us students we leader and go to different places in Colombia to give our hearts to the people who really need it. So in school, we always are having that kinds of projects that help us grow as a person, not only in the academic ways. So these projects are continuously happening, and we really hope that these projects keep going, because they are a way that students can like disconnect from their academic life, but at the same time still learning different abilities and skills that will be completely useful in their future lives.
Yeah, I do consider that these projects are quite motivational for coming to school. We're always involved in something. So it's really great seeing things like work, like what do you do, it works and has an impact. And it's really motivational to be able to see that at such young age. I wouldn't say school is boring. I really like coming to school. But yes, there is particular cases, I guess. But in general, we like going to school.
All right, good. Congrats, Maria Rosario. That's a perfect answer. Now, Adriana, about your girls, how is it that you girls can think outside the box at Vermont?
For them, right?
It's a question for us or for
you, yeah.
That would be for you girls, yeah.
All right. First of all, I want to introduce us a little bit. My name is Gabriela and she is Juliana, and we are from 10th grade. I actually like the fact that these schools make a lot of debates and critical thinking, so you can not just get comfortable with the answers someone gives you, so you can also think of something different and not being judged by it. I like it because, for example, I've been in a lot of schools during my entire life, and I think that the thing I like the most of Vermont is that you can exchange your perspective and opinions about different topics, and we can find a solution that is not only good for me, but is also good for the other person. And I think that's really important when it comes to solving situations that are happening in the real world, because that's why we are here, right? It's because we are trying to be prepared when we are going to go out in the real world and face the problems that are happening right now. And I think that discussing and debating these things and topics are really important.
Do you want to add something?
Well, I think also that a great point of the Vermont is that the encouragement that they produce to the students to be a good person, and also the leaderships. So like they have in mind that we are the future of our country and for our nation. So it's like creating the better future for everyone.
Interesting. If I were to ask you girls, what would you change about school as a whole? What would you say? I mean, we truly understand that, you know, it's not about playing or it's not about laughing throughout the day. You know, there are things that require your attention and your focus and your, you know, you being serious. But, you know, if you had that power to change it, what would you change? You know, or better said, what has to be different in school that is not as of today?
I think that there's an issue not just in Colombia, but also in the whole world and educational system. And it is that sometimes they stigmatize mistakes. What do I want to say with this? We grow up being scared of being wrong. And how are we supposed to be original if we aren't willing to make mistakes? Because that's how you get to make something. You have to try and you have to be wrong at the beginning. So you can say, okay, let's learn more about this. Let's make something that changes the world. Don't be comfortable with the things you are told. Look for other perspectives. You have to look to the bad and bright side of the situation so you can contrast both of them and find a better solution. And that's something I would change, because we cannot kill children's creativity, because at the end of the day, what the school wants is to prepare new generations to be better citizens. And that's why I think we don't want a citizen that is just like the other. We want someone that represents us in a really good way. That is like, yes, it's like, that's what I'm trying to say.
No. I truly understand, and I would have to say that I concur, and this gives me the opportunity to go back to Adriana and Maria del Rosario, and is being a head of a school myself back in the day, being a part of the network is also that possibility of exchanging not only ideas, but also problems. You know, being a head of a school is a very, very lonely position. And you guys think that not only you can make mistakes, but the same thing happens to us adults. Adriana and Maria del Rosario, do you think that being a part of a network, and I'm not referring to Red Call only, because I mean, we're here because we are trying to create a network along with Gabriel and exchanging ideas with people all over the world. Do you think that it has powered or not your job, you know, what you guys do every day? Maria del Rosario, what do you think?
Well, sure. I think that being part of a network, it's a great opportunity to build with others, to build as a team and develop that skill that the world needs a lot, which is to work to learn how to work collaboratively. And here, particularly in Patches, we see problems as opportunities to learn, to grow, to build, to think out of the box, to build new perspectives. And when you know, discuss that with others within your red, in this case, with the other principals, or with the other member, or with other members of the team of the red, you find that all the solutions you can come up with are richer, are, you know, more creative. So I've learned that creativity doesn't have to be only with your own ideas, but just listening to others, learning with and through others, make things powerful. And that's been, to me particularly, a big issue, to see the power of building together And that's one of our, messages we give to our community every day. The key is building with others. And I've learned that through belonging to a network.
I like that. And I, it comes to my mind being humble about it. If you think that you are the know-it-all, then you can't learn anymore, right? If you don't see that you can learn through others. Adriana, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I was going to say that I was listening to the other schools this morning during their presentations, and by listening to what they were talking about, I understood, or I realized that there are many ways to see the same things that you, as a headmaster or a headmistress in a school, see by yourself. And when you listen to other people's perspectives on the same topic or on the same difficulty or on the same opportunity or on the same, you find many ways in which you can move forward, not only in education, but in opportunities for these guys who are sitting next to us. And when you have the chance of doing that in a network such as ours, which we are blessed for, you have the opportunity to do that more frequently, and to call each other and say, look, what's your idea on this? What's your input on this? And improving, it becomes a method of working every day when you have ideas from other people in your same position, or even from people in a different position. I was listening to the batch of girls, and I was listening and seeing everything that they do over there. And it's amazing the way they express themselves around the things that they do. And likewise, I was listening to other kids this morning in other parts of the world, New Zealand and other countries in the world. And we do the same things, but we do it in a different way. So it's always enriching and sharing ideas and knowing the perspectives of others. It's amazing in growing as a headmistress or as the head of a school.
Thank you, Adriana. And to the girls, have you girls had the opportunity to exchange ideas with other students within the network or outside the network? I mean, have you guys participated in the sports games that we had in Cartagena, or the Model United Nations that Adriana successfully has over there in Medellin, or any other cities? What do you guys tell me a little bit about this power of being a bigger team?
Go ahead.
So we have many opportunities, like for example, we have those exchanges to another country and other high schools, where we can learn about not only other type of educational system, but also cultural. And yeah, like we could grow by seeing others. And yes.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, opportunity. I have not go to the Model of the United Nations or something like that, but I have go to public schools to make debates, and I love it because it's so amazing to see their perspective and what they think about the problematic that they are putting in the table. And it's I don't know,
Enriching.
I really like it. It's enriching.
It is indeed. About up there in Bogota?
Yeah, in school we got many opportunities to exchange with other educational networks, with other people. We got the opportunity last year to meet some girls from the same Red Coal network that came to talk to us about the IB program, because we started just last year. So they came and speak us about the program and told their experience, and it was really a really interesting experience to listen about this topic from other students of our same age.
Also, one thing, well, we mentioned is that the school will provide us with different extracurricular activities. So here in Bogota, we have what we call un coli. So it's like a red of different schools that compete each other in different sport activities. So that provides like an interaction between us, a student from Pachas, from students from other different schools. And that also reinforces the importance of teamwork and being like a family and a team.
And there are also academic opportunities for having this exchange with other people. For example, there is the United Nations models. So where we can go to debates and defend a position as a delegation, and we met different people and learn many things about different cultures and perspectives. And another opportunity we have here are some Olympics, like from math, chemistry, technology. Personally, I've got the experience to go to a group Olympic of mathematics in a university, and it was a really nice experience to be there and like know other people that have the same interest in you, academically speaking. And it was really like a really interesting experience.
And finally, we have the opportunity of more like social activities. For example, one I highlight the most is called Misiones, is where a group of students of the highest grades, we go to a small town in Colombia here known as Mongi, and we do different activities of social services, including the interaction with the teenagers there in Mongi. So we are able to share our experiences and to share with others different spaces that they are not academic.
I definitely agree, and I got the chance to meet that project, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was absolutely amazing. Let me turn. I want to show you now a second video, and this is the story of Karina. Karina was the first student that was part of the Programa Amparo. She just graduated past this last May from New Cambridge here in Bucaramanga. So let me show you her story. Give me a second, and then we'll continue.
Hola, mi nombre es Karina Sardilla, tengo 17 años y estoy en el grado 11B. Yo vivo con mis papás y tengo 2 hermanos.
Cuando nosotros iniciamos el proceso de la beca, cuando nos informaron, nos llamaron, Karina me dijo, mami, esa es mía. Fueron palabras como muy de la edad que ella tenía. Ella no alcanzaba a visualizar qué significaba, pero era mucho, ¿no? Y preciso nos llaman y nos dicen que sí, fue algo muy fuerte y como increíble, porque uno a veces dice, toda la vida jugué chance y nunca me lo gané. Entonces era algo entre muchas personas, que ella quedara y que quedara solo ella, era algo maravilloso para mí, para ella, para todos.
Bueno, gracias a la beca, al programa, pues que Karina logró, pues fue una oportunidad muy grande, ya que ella está va a estar en uno de los mejores colegios, estudiar en los mejores colegios y tener una excelente preparación. Para su vida y su futuro va a tener grandes logros porque se va a preparar y va a ser una excelente profesional.
Y otra cosa importante ha sido el esfuerzo de Karina. O sea, ha pasado por muchas cosas, muchas dificultades, y ella todo ha logrado vivirlo. Dificultades en el colegio, por cosas, por el transporte, por lo lejos, pero nunca se ha rendido.
Karina ha sido una estudiante que cuando llega al colegio se marca un reto grandísimo, tanto para ella como para la misma institución. Pero en el transcurrir de todos estos años fue capaz de destacarse tanto académicamente como con esa parte convivencial de su entorno, a sus amigos, a sus amistades. Y nos sentimos muy orgullosos de que Karina haya culminado este grado 11 y los resultados pues se ven, y sabemos que en lo que escoja para su proyecto de vida va a ser destacada desde todo punto de vista. Le deseamos lo mejor y bueno, Karina, vamos adelante. La institución la apoyará siempre.
Lo mejor que me ha dado el colegio ha sido la oportunidad de conocer personas maravillosas, tanto amigos como profesores, que me han enseñado a cómo ser mejor persona y a tener una mente más abierta y ser más crítica. Mi proyecto de vida es ser una ingeniera civil. Bueno, le agradezco mucho al Colegio Nuevo Cambridge y al programa de Beca Amparo por darme esta maravillosa oportunidad. Muchas gracias, chao.
She ended up studying economics, not civil engineering, but still. What I wanted to show here is that although many of our schools keep that structure of having subjects, of course, a lot of project-based learning and stuff like that, we talked about extracurricular activities, we talked about international opportunities, we talk about social impact, is the enrichment of many things to do within the school day that has proven, at least on our case, that our students have the skill set to face these challenging new worlds. Gabriel, I don't know if we have questions now that we have students. Usually we tend to have this type of events only with adults, and it's sort of boring, girls, I'm sorry. But maybe now that you are here, if we want to ask them something, or Maria Rosario asking the girls at Vermont, or the other way around,
yeah, I'd like to ask them a question, Oscar, if that's okay with you. We are doing another of our projects is we're working with students all over Latin America on how to change the world, and we've spurred a dialogue on what are the issues that matter for teenagers. What is it that people your age are concerned about and that you'd like to address in terms of improving the reality and affecting positively reality. So I'd love to ask them if that's okay, what they would see as issues that they want to change when they graduate from school and they go out to the world.
Personally, my career path is addressed to political science and economics. So I would like to stay here and work for the government. Right now, there is like kind of a political crisis here. Like there are people so polarized and so into their ideas, they're not like open-minded, they don't listen to others. So I would like to address that problem, like this problem of communication that is in Colombian society, the problem of be able to think about the other, be able to consider other perspectives, have into account other people's point of views, like being able to create and construct together different kind of society where everyone is a little bit better and has a better environment.
Also, well, in my case, I still don't have clear what I want to do, but I have this inclination still for humanities. And as my friend said, I also believe it's crucial that in today's world, what we learn, we can share it with others and to take actions. Not that only what we learn stays just in words, but to do something. For example, I was thinking of studying international affairs, and from them we can like have a global perspective and to be informed of what is happening worldwide, to open our minds. That way we can like leave behind our ignorance of others, not knowing what others are being through. So that way we can have a complete idea of what is happening, to take actions and to make each one of us a better person every day.
All right, I feel more attracted to the environmental part. I want to be a zoology for now, and I also love arts. So I was thinking of studying two careers, maybe arts and zoology. I want to make a change in the environmental issues we are facing today in the whole world, and I really think it is important for us to make something about it.
Well, in my case, I would like to study biochemical engineering. Firstly, because I like to help the world to make those changes and continue advancing not only in science but also like for the wealth of everyone, and even as Gabriela said, the environment that we are facing critical environment issues. So it is a problem that we need to face right now, and we have to search for solutions.
Wonderful, thank you. If you allow me to ask one more question, and this is not about your schools in particular, but about your experience with, sorry, with education. The whole theme of what we're doing today is change in education, and we, the adults, feel that education needs to change, and sometimes we don't know how to go about it and how to affect change. If each one of you has had to say, and again, this is not about your schools in particular, but about education in general. If you had to say one thing that you would change about education, what would that be? Anything's valid. So we only have a global audience of millions of people. I'm kidding.
Okay, I could start saying that to me, embracing differences in education should be like the main issue. Because in education, we have tend to standardize, to everybody do the same thing at the same rhythm, according to the same goals. And I think if we want people thinking out of the box to give solutions to the unknown, to the uncertainty, to be innovative, well, we have to embrace differences and let everyone to express their full potential and to promote the initiatives, interests, motivations. And I know that's a great challenge for us as educators, because it's easier to have the idea that everyone should be doing the same thing. But I think the big change will be let everybody, to express their interests and build from there. So everyone can grow to their own rhythms.
Maria Rosario, one of the teachers from the previous school said, referring to the same issue, said, differences are not deficits. And I think that was a wonderful phrase. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
If you ask me, I would say that we would have to change equity. I mean, offer the same opportunities for everyone. At Red Call, we do it a little bit with a few students, but I think in the world, education in the world should be the same for everyone and provide the same opportunities for everyone. That's the dream world, but little by little, if grain by grain, you can build that. So if we were to change something, it's the same opportunities for everyone.
Maybe the girls can answer too.
In our case, we believe it is crucial that education in the future focuses a lot in the students' emotional part and their well-being, about their mental health, not only focusing on academic, but also we believe it's a vital and really important part, the well-being of the students, both physically and mentally. So it will be great that future educators will take that into account to create some programs or different methods in order to ensure that the students are able to have like a balance in their life academically and with other parts. That way they will have a better like mental health and well-being.
I consider that it is important that in other schools, it is enhanced this part of the social service, like being in love with helping others. I consider this is really important, especially for nowadays society, like creating this sense of community and like creating the necessity and the like what you want to help. So creating this sense of helping others and being always there to help and being always like aware of how your actions are impacting others, like creating that conscience is really important.
All right, so I think the fact of sometimes you can notice that the education is becoming more of a business than a global right. And that's something also Adriana said, and it is, why can't we all have the same opportunities to learn? Why are there so much people that cannot afford a proper education? I don't know, but yeah, it is in part a business, but it is also a right that all humans have. They all have the right to have a proper education. And that's something I really think we should take into account when it comes to thinking about the global issues in education. And the other thing is that most of the time, children graduate from high school without knowing basic skills of life or without knowing how to manage money. And that is something that we really need to clarify. And yeah.
Well, I probably think like the same thing as the other girl said, of helping others is something we have to encourage, something that I would say schools have to be like paying attention to, because if we all help each other, then we could build a better future for everyone. Yes.
The values are really important when it comes to education. They come from home also, but not everybody has the opportunity to have a good education and values when they are at home.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Oscar, maybe you want to close the segment and then we say hello to our friends in Mexico who are going to succeed.
Sure. I was going to say that I would be very, very happy with school starting a little bit later in the day and not 7 a.m. But that's a big thing here in Colombia. No, I mean, it is absolutely clear that there's still a lot to do. That we believe that in spaces such as this one, Gabriel, we have a lot to learn. That maybe if for the people that saw us, just one simple single idea would be enough for them to go back to their schools and change. I think that their students have spoken is not as easy, as just saying it, but we have to keep going. We have to keep going. I think that this past 2 years had at least has put
I think we lost Oscar. We caught him in the middle of a grand gesture. We lost you, Oscar. The last 20 seconds, we couldn't hear you. Sorry.
You have seen me, my closing argument and all. I'm sorry.
You can do it better now.
Yeah, probably the second time is better. Yeah. No, I was just saying that thank you for being a promoter of change. that probably is not as easy as saying it, and that there are a lot of moving parts that we need to adjust so to make it happen, you know, truly to work on communication skills, to work on well-being, to work on many other differences, as Maria Rosario was saying, but we have to keep on going. And these past 2 years or so, at least have put our minds to that test. You know, hey, do we truly want it to go out of COVID just to come back to doing the same thing? And I'm guessing that no, absolutely not. But we tend to go back to where we were. So it's our responsibility as educators not to let that happen. And probably the students are there to remind us of that. You know, not to let us pass away things that are not supposed to happen. So thank you so much for you know, for the time, for learning a little bit about us, for hearing our stories. And we truly hope that, as I said, and I don't know if you heard me or not, that one single simple idea out of this almost an hour would be enough for you to take home or take back to the schools and try it again. Girls, thank you so much. Adriana, Maria Rosario, thank you as well. And Gabriel, thank you for the invitation. Keep on going, man.